Live from Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Atlantic City. Welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk presented by the Sportscast. It's April 18th, 2024. If you haven't yet, please subscribe in all our channels: YouTube, Twitch, X, and Apple Podcast. You can also listen to us on your smart speaker. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please leave a rating and a review. It will help us out tremendously. We're also on online radio. You can visit our website, thesportscast.net. Also, you can follow us on X at the Sportscast and check out our app, the Sportscast for iOS. This is Santiago Leon here in the Jersey Boys for week 2. Our normal host, a regular host, Victor Rocho, he is out on assignment. He'll be back next week for the draft. And we got Byron Jones. Welcome back. And you're not in Lancaster. You're in Atlantic City. How are you?
Oh, wonderful. It had nice weather, here at the beginning of the week. It was in the 70s, shockingly. And then last couple of days, it's dropped to 50, and now we're at 45 and dropping. It is raining and it's getting cold.
Oh, no. Getting cold. So that's coat weather. That's sweater weather.
It's coat, hoodie, gloves, and whatever else I could put on. Yeah, it was a little cold because we're right by the water. We're like 100 yards off the Atlantic Ocean. So the wind and the breeze coming off of there, yeah, it's a little rough.
And we got Kevin Tyre, who has not appeared for months because he's busy with real estate. How are you?
Doing pretty good. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Let's talk some sports, man.
Kevin, so before we go in, how's the real estate in Miami?
These interest rates, man, and these prices. But, it is what it is.
It's interesting. Kevin, I mean, I know a lot of realtors, and Kevin know this, but Kevin's really like authentic, down to earth. He'll tell you right off the bat, look, that house is not worth this much. It shouldn't be worth this much.
No, really.
Hey, my clients come first, man. Whoever I'm representing, that's the one I'm going to protect.
So you gonna be honest?
Oh yeah, why not?
Wow. So you're not like a used car salesman. Oh yeah, this is
the best time to buy in the history of mankind.
Oh no.
Wow. Yeah. Well, anyways, in the world of sports, we are 1 week away from the NFL draft. And Byron, you did not have a new mock-up this week. Tell us why.
Because I've been messing around here and got so tied up with what I've been doing around here, I forgot pretty much. So I'll be doing it tomorrow. It'll be out tomorrow when I get back home.
I mean, you can say, look, there's not much changes going on. And
right. I'm gonna tell the truth.
Well, anyways, this morning, Joe Schoen, the general manager for the New York Giants, had his annual pre-draft press conference with the media and had a few updates on the team's plans. He had the first thing he mentioned was that a lot of teams have increased interest for that number 6 spot. Giants are at number 6 for the NFL draft, and which is likely too far down in order to select the quarterback of his choice, too far up in order to take the cornerback of safety they need. Byron, what is he trying to say there? Is it? I mean, yes. I mean, there's some teams looking to move up. They need a quarterback. What are your thoughts about Joe Schoen's comments this morning about interest for that number 6 overall pick?
Well, you figure, all right, it all starts with J.J. McCarthy. I don't think that like he's a top 3 quarterback where he should be picked, 1, 2, 3, or 4, and 6, would be a good spot, for somebody to move up to. And I'm going to throw out the Minnesota Vikings because they have the 11th and 23rd pick in the first round this year. And if I was the Giants and they did offer that, I would want both those picks. I wouldn't want next year. I would, give me both of these this year and, we're done. But, I would drop that far down maybe for the Giants at 11, that way they could look at something, maybe a cornerback, maybe, one of the second-tier wide receivers, edge rusher, probably at 11, and then 23, or maybe another receiver or tight end or whatever they're going to need. But, yeah, I would entertain that at 6.
Really? So you'll be open for the Giants to trade that pick? You think it wouldn't hurt them much?
No, I wouldn't go too far. I would still want to stay in the top 15, with my first pick because it's a
Right.
lot, there's a lot of good picks, up to 15. But yeah, I wouldn't want to go any further than 11. I wouldn't want to drop that far down.
So to explain the order, number 1 is Chicago Bears, number 2 Washington Commanders, 3 New England Patriots, 4 Arizona Cardinals, 5 Chargers, 6 Giants, 7 Titans, 8 Atlanta, 9 Bears, 10 Jets. We'll go a little bit general here. Kevin, your thoughts on the draft this year? I mean, I know the Dolphins are selected a little bit lower, but what are your thoughts over the draft? I mean, are you excited? Do you see a lot of talent? Like, what have you heard and what you have understood?
Well, I haven't been following it much because I don't know. I just haven't been. But I know they got a lot of top offensive players coming out, the wide receivers, and they say this might be the first draft where they have more offensive players go than defensive players. So you got a lot of good players coming out. Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
A lot of cornerbacks, a lot of defensive. Offensive guys coming out. So that's just going to speed up the game, and I think it'll work out for everybody.
Yeah, it would. Which you brought up a good point, and we talked about it in our group. I think, which Kevin is in our chat group, actually, Messenger. The last time there'll be, I think, projected 19 offensive players in the first round, and the last time that we saw that was in 2009, where we saw Mark Sanchez, and I'm pulling up the list right now. We had Matt Stafford getting selected first, and offensive tackle Jason Smith, Tyson Jackson, Aaron Curry, Mark Sanchez, so on and so on, which I'm going to pull this up right now. But Byron, you laughed because you remember that draft.
Yeah. Mark Sanchez, butt fumble guy.
The butt fumble, yeah.
And I think it was a couple of linemen that were taken like 2 and 3. I think Smith, whatever guy's name is.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull that up.
A lot of guys that didn't really do anything, in the NFL at all.
Yeah, man, the draft. It's a crapshoot, man. You really can't know. You're not gonna know what these guys are all about until like 5 years from now. You know what I mean? Injuries, things of that nature. Guys getting in trouble, all kind of stuff.
Kevin, guess who I saw yesterday? I was at a tech conference yesterday, and I saw legendary Dan Marino.
No.
Yeah. He was selected first, wasn't he?
Dan the man.
Was he selected first?
First round? No.
He was in the 20s.
No. Yeah, he dropped down to the Dolphins. That was yeah, he wasn't. Remember, I don't think in college he was a good quarterback, but he wasn't like
great.
Like Heisman rope trophy type of stuff,
If you guys have a phone, please put it on silent. Yeah, so he actually talked about a little bit about the draft yesterday, actually. He said that typically the all-star quarterbacks from college don't really win Super Bowls.
Nope.
Really don't succeed as much.
That's a hard position.
And usually like the best quarterbacks come from lower mid rounds. I mean, would you agree with them?
Yeah, definitely. That's not too many, top of my head, who came out that was all of that and became all of that. And my first person to come to mind is Peyton Manning.
Elway, Andrew Luck. Well, Patrick Mahomes, of course. Alex Smith had a good career, even though he was injured. He wasn't. He was the first player picked. The year he came out, he wasn't that bad. At all coming out.
Yeah.
Who else?
Ain't that many.
Baker Mayfield. Was he picked number 1?
He's been bouncing around.
Yeah, he was number 1 overall, but no way.
And the other guy, the Browns picked. I was gonna say Jason.
Watson.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson. Yeah. I mean, that's still TBD, or that's pretty much what you see.
He derailed his own thing.
And they're sticking with him. Well, they have to because of the contractual. It's hard.
Yeah. Nobody will touch that with a 50-foot pole.
And okay, so looking back at this 2009 draft board, Hakeem Nicks selected by the Giants. Whatever happened to him, Byron?
He got a Super Bowl. He sort of just faded away toward the end. But he had a great career. He had a couple 1,000-yard seasons with them. So he was worth that pick. Was it the 20s? 20 something.
29.
Yeah, he was 29 pick. So he worked out fine. And he was a great player for them for a while.
He took that year. Vontae Davis. Oh, God rest his soul.
I can't find the Dolphins. Oh, there it is.
Vontae Davis, number 25.
How'd he do?
He did pretty good for us. He was decent, but he wasn't like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He just passed away 2 weeks ago. So.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
Yeah.
That's
R.I.P.
Yeah.
And there was another player that passed away today, right, Byron? He was from Albany State, I think.
Right.
No, I didn't hear about that.
Albany, 25-year-old.
Yeah.
No, 25-year-old guy. He was a week before the draft.
Yeah, a week before the draft. I think he was. I mean, I'm not sure what round he was being projected to be drafted, but he got passed away this morning. So pretty sad.
Percy Harvin. I remember him.
Well,
yeah.
The good thing about this draft is you got two Jersey guys on it. You got Malcolm Jenkins is from Jersey, from Piscataway, and Brian Cushing is from like Don Bosco, one of those schools up north. So it was two Jersey guys drafted first round that year.
No, Sean Morano. Brian.
Malcolm Jenkins was good.
Wow. Cushing.
The Saints.
Long time. The Saints
was decent.
I don't think. I mean, from this list, I only recognize Matt Stafford still playing.
Well, you remember? Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's it.
Let me see. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
Who is Tyson Jackson? Number 3 overall for Kansas City. Never heard of this guy.
How about you, Byron?
Defensive end. I think it was a defensive end. He wasn't very good. Didn't last long. Yeah, but it's a whole bunch of them. Like Curry, when Aaron Curry was with Seattle, he was awful. I think he had like 2 picks. Hayward Bay, the Raiders picked him, because I think he ran like a 4.2 40 or whatever he ran.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a lot. Brian Arapaho, yeah, he was all right for a minute, but he came from Penn State.
Okay. He got Crabtree. Michael Crabtree is still in the league.
He's good. He's very good.
Yeah.
Brian Cushing was good. He was all pro a couple times. A lot of these guys.
Brian Cushing was pretty decent also.
Yeah.
We're going back to memory lane here. I like that. You guys know
what we're doing, right? Michael Orr. Michael
was good, right? Percy Harvin was a good one for the Seattle.
Oh, yeah. He was all Minnesota, right?
He was decent.
Minnesota, too.
He was decent. Clay Matthews.
Clay Matthews, classic.
Alex Max was a good center for a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a hit and miss, man. It's a hit and miss.
It's hit or miss. Just like Kevin said, we don't know what's going to happen. It's a risk. You can only look what you can see from the season, college season, or from the pro days or the NBA, the NBA combine, the NFL combine. So hopefully the right pick, but it's a risk. Another thing that Joe Shane, general manager of the New York Giants, said that if he would keep the current quarterbacks today, quarterback Daniel Jones, Drew Lock, and Dan DeVito, he said that it's all possible. It's because they all have like playing experience. I believe that's what he said. Byron, do you buy that? I mean, Jones has a bad neck, as Victor always says. Drew Lock has some experience, played for the Broncos in Seattle. DeVito trying to survive, but what are your thoughts over his comments about, hey, I'm comfortable with these 3 quarterbacks?
Let's see. He's the general manager of the team. I guess he doesn't want to bash what he already has, on the the roster right now, because I'm pretty sure in the later rounds they're going to pick either a project quarterback or something. This draft, they're gonna draft another quarterback. That's just the way it is.
Who was that mobile quarterback you were talking about last week or something?
I don't want everybody to know about him. Joe Milton from Tennessee. Big, giant, like 6'4", 6'5", can throw 70 yards and can run.
Let me call Chris Greer.
I want to keep Joe Milton. I want to keep him a secret. That he doesn't. Somebody else don't pick this guy up. But yeah, he looks good. He just needs to be. He's going to be a project. They need to work with him, and maybe the Giants might sneak him in there or something. But that's my undercover sleeper guy that I want them to pick up.
Think he's first round worthy though?
No. He's like either late second
day
or third day pick. Yeah, he's not
a project. But those are the guys who, those lower round guys, like third, fourth, fifth, that type of stuff. Those are the guys who hungry, and those are the guys who do the best in the NFL. They really do.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a quote from the old Bills general manager back in the 90s, 80s, or maybe also the 2000s. He said, yeah, like usually the ones that win the Super Bowl are the role players you pick in the later rounds.
Yeah, those guys are hungry, man.
Bill something.
Bill Polian?
Bill Polian, famous quote.
Yep.
Which is true. So Shane said he's comfortable with going into the season with the three quarterbacks they currently have. He said, I think with Drew Lock's experience, he has started games and played, and Jones' experience, and DeVito did last year, another year in the system, Tommy's come a long way.
Yeah.
Wow.
That sounds like save face statements.
Is that a poker face statement?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, definitely.
They're going to draft a quarterback.
Yeah. Gave him all that money, man. Gave him all that money. Gotta
but the
talk positive.
The crazy thing up here, I look at the Giant sites and all this stuff. They be killing Daniel Jones. I mean, they want him cut like not now, but like
today.
Right now. And all they worry about is the $47 million salary cap that they're going to have with him being on the team next year. And that's all they complain about. Oh, we need to cut him. We need to do this. We need to do that. And then if you look, I don't want to go too far, but if you look at the quarterbacks coming out next year, they're nowhere near as good as the ones that are coming out this
year. It's a very low pool. It's a very small pool of quarterbacks next year. Speaking about Jones, he did say this week, I think on Monday, that he expects to be clear for training camp. He even believes there's a realistic chance that he's able to do some drills with his teammates later this spring. So he suffered an ACL in his right knee. And it says it's all possible because so far the rehab has gone relatively smoothly. Hiron, do you think he could come back by training camp?
ACL, this is going to be his problem. You figure if he comes back, he's not going to have any contact, during the preseason games. They're not going to throw him out there. So pretty much the Giants are going to be in the same boat. If he doesn't play any, preseason game to get some live bullets, thrown at him in practice to see if, practice for the game to see if the knee is going to hold up. And then they put him out there the first game of the season. It'll be the same thing that happened last year where it was 40-0, and he threw 2 interceptions for pick 6 or whatever happened. So I don't think he's going to be ready to play the first game of the season.
And what, he got injured what month? Was it November of last season?
Well, like the 6th game. So probably like October.
Yeah.
October.
Yeah, it was kind of early.
Yeah, what do you think, Kevin?
That's a year. That's a year recovery injury, and you're not really right that year. I've never seen too many players come back from an ACL and they're right that first year. The year after that, then they're back to what they were. I agree with Byron. They won't play. They can't play him. They can't play him in the preseason. And them dogs be coming because everybody's fresh that first game of the season. Oh, my gosh. Them dogs going to be coming.
Yeah. No, I mean, but preseason.
Dallas.
They played Dallas.
The first preseason game? The Cowboys?
The first game was 40-0 when they played Dallas.
Oh, last year. Okay.
I remember that game. That was a red flag.
Oh, it was brutal.
And then you guys barely beat Arizona, and they like the week after.
Yeah. It was pretty bad.
Interesting. Yeah, the procedures these days, I heard they're really good. Seeing what happened to Aaron Rodgers, he could have came back early January, perhaps.
I don't think he was going back out there.
He a showboat. He just talk.
By the way, the Jets got new uniforms.
Okay.
They're okay. You know, like the green still sticks out. So
what, Kelly Green or whatever color it is.
yeah. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. He says he could do it. So we'll see what happens. But Drew Lock, I don't know. We haven't talked about Drew Lock, guys. I mean, what if he shines?
Yeah, he ain't gonna shine.
I don't think so.
That's the reason why that he was a second string quarterback with Denver, and where he come from, Seattle. Why people got Denver, so all this, oh yeah, he's gonna learn our system. Yeah. If he was that good, he would stay where he was. But
it's
true.
Career backup.
Behind him or something. Yeah.
Career backup. But if I had a chance, I wouldn't mind being a career backup. Money they make.
Oh my gosh. Remember the Dolphins? Was it Michael? Not Moore is his last name?
Oh, yeah, he was pretty good though. Number 8.
He was there for a while.
He's pretty good though. Now he was pretty good. Tannehill got hurt and he still took him to the playoffs,
Yeah.
Well, he was pretty decent, But career backup is a pretty good position. You don't most likely you're not gonna play. You might play 1 or 2 games a season. So you can do that for 15, 16 years.
Matt Moore, that's his name.
Matt Moore, yeah, Matt.
And I think he was with the Chiefs last season. Now he's with the I think he's with the Cowboys now.
Mm-hmm.
Double check. He's 39 years old, so
averaging more than the WNBA players.
Which, by the way, Caitlin Clark is expected to get an 8-figure deal with Nike.
Yeah, she still is not. $70,000 a year. Come on.
Her salary for the Indiana Fever is $75,000. That's it. A year, $75,000.
That's all.
That's it.
I couldn't believe my buddy told me about it. I was like, no way. He's like, yeah, 75. What? No, man.
She can come up here and be a cop in New Jersey for that kind of money.
Yeah.
But the 8-figure deal from Nike, that's pretty like Tiger Woods level.
Yeah. The NBA players getting $100 million.
Yeah. Some of them, yeah.
They're getting hundreds of $100 million. Plus 30 million a year. And it's, come on, man.
But I think this is the golden generation for this class. I think the class coming in, her and the LSU girl, and I think the girl from UCLA.
Reese.
This is a good generation.
They're gonna take it to another level. I think.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think they're gonna take it to another level. So
how about you, Hiron? Were you able to see the WNBA draft?
Nah, not right. I've watched them when they played, college and everything, and there are a bunch of them. The young lady from, South Carolina. I didn't realize she was that big, tall.
Huge, yeah.
The one from UConn, Paige Buckers. I've been watching her for years. She's another great one. People forgot about, but she didn't come out this year. Angel Reese, of course, LSU, and Caitlin, at Iowa. So it was a bunch of them, that right there. I hope they make all the money they can make.
Yeah, definitely.
They should have not taken. I mean, she should have taken the 3-on-3 from Ice Cube, $5 million.
Yeah, I thought that was a low ball, but I didn't realize she was making that much. So that was if she was chasing the money, that would have been a good deal for her.
That would have.
But if she plays with them, are they going to use a woman-sized ball or the regular-sized ball?
Good question.
Mm-hmm.
Or does the 3-on-3 have like a special size ball? We don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it.
I did watch last week this other football league. I can't remember what the name is.
UFL?
Yeah, but they be balling, man.
They're good. Have you seen the kickoff?
Huh?
Have you seen the kickoff?
20-yard line. That's the new rule, right?
Yeah, that's going to be implemented in the NFL. And I don't know if I'm not sure if it's going to be good. I heard it's going to be like less injuries, but it's interesting how NFL made that move.
Yeah. No, them guys be balling, man.
Because they get tired of people, when you're running down there on the kickoff, which I've done a couple times. It sucks running down there covering the kick.
It does.
But what's worse than a kickoff is punt. When you're running punt return. And, I was like the end guy on our defense. and I would have to, I'd run up and make sure they, punt the ball. But then I would always peel back and I would light up somebody because you're not looking. So, they might look to, get rid of that too. But it was a whole bunch of times where I would peel back and I'd sit there and see this poor guy, he running downfield, he ain't looking, and I would light him up like a Christmas tree all the time.
I think they did get rid of the blindside hits.
Yeah, now they have, but back in the day.
No. Back in the day, no.
They tear somebody up.
Just can't hit them low, but you can catch them in the chest and take them off.
And now you can't do the hip hit, right, Byron?
The hip drop?
Yeah, hip tackle.
That's a terrible tackle, man. I hate that tackle, man. People get rolled up all the time.
Horse collar, that they got rid of that. You can't do that.
That's a terrible tackle. They should have outlawed that. Yeah.
Marino actually talked about it yesterday that he said that a lot of these quarterbacks they play longer in their career because they have more rules protecting the quarterback now, versus back in his day, he got hit a lot.
Oh yeah.
Well, then the receivers don't get mauled the way they used to with the Mel Blunts and the George Atkinsons from back in the day. They would get mauled before they even got off the side, off the line of scrimmage. And now, they got pretty much a kind of sort of a free run. Once they get past the corner, they're gone.
Let me ask you this, guys. Do you think they hit harder back then than now? Yes, for both.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Now or like back then they hit more.
Think now they hit hard?
Hit harder.
I think now, because these guys are bigger, faster, stronger now than what they were.
They're bringing more.
Interesting. I've been hearing this debate for a while. A lot of the old guys told me back then they hit harder. Now I'm hearing now they hit harder. So you can't really tell.
Yeah, but you're getting these linebackers now that are running 4.3, 4.4 40s. I'm pretty sure a bunch of them back in my day that would run at 4.4 and 4.5 the way these guys are like sprinters coming around the corner. And you figure you got
these huge guys too.
Yeah, you got a guy that's 4.3 and he's 240 or 250 or 260 coming around the corner. Yeah, it's gonna be ugly.
They'll run like 5.2, baby.
Well, I wasn't that slow. I'm slow, but I wasn't.
I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying. Like Singletary was instincts.
Let me ask you this history question: was Walter Payton the greatest running back of all time?
Yes.
Kevin?
I'm gonna have to agree with that. He would run you over. He'd run outside, inside, anyway. And
he played on bad teams. He played on bad teams his whole career, except for when they went to the Super Bowl and screwed him over and didn't let him score a touchdown. But
I heard that play talks about. I've heard people talk about that play a lot. Like they didn't let him run.
No, because they had the fridge back there, and they gave when they got to the goal line, they handed the ball to the fridge instead of bringing him back into the game because the game was over. But to bring him back in to let him score a touchdown, in the Super Bowl, and Dick screwed that up by having William Perry scored a touchdown.
Refrigerator Perry, interesting. Yeah. But that reminds me of like the Marshawn Lynch. They didn't let him for that last play, Seahawks versus Patriots.
Yeah, that makes my head hurt. First down, you have he's basically the one that got him all the way down the field. And they're on the 2 or 3 or whatever we were. You know what? I'd have felt a lot better as a teammate that what? He got us down here. Give it to him 4 times in a row.
4 times. I'd have gave it to him 4 times.
Yeah, 4 times.
You might stop him 3, but you ain't gonna want none of that after that 4th.
Marshawn Lynch from Oakland, California.
Yeah.
All right. Let's run down this quick Giants news. Byron, the Giants have not given Darren Waller a deadline.
They should.
They got to find out.
Because they signed 2 other tight ends. They already had Bellinger and Cager are 2. So they have 4 that are on the roster right now. So he should supposedly he was supposed to be basically their number 1 guy, their number 1 receiver. But he's always hurt. And now you have this issue to deal with, that he's undecided if he wants to play or not. Maybe he just doesn't want to play with the Giants, and he's using this for them to release him early, and get out the contract, go someplace out. I don't know, but now it kind of sort of messes them all up, because are they going to look at another tight end? Are they going to fill up the room with tight ends like they did wide receivers last year? Or, are they going to sit back and wait for him, and then he waits till training camp? You know what? I ain't playing this year.
Yeah, the tight end position is becoming more important every year. It feels like a lot of these teams are putting a lot of emphasis on tight ends. Slayton is having communication with Joe Shane. He is Shane said we just signed a deal a little over 12 months ago. It was a 2-year deal. Again, I understand where he's coming from based on our conversations, what I meant by that. So he wants more money, right, Slayton?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. We'll see what happens. And then offensive tackle, even Neal is progressing well, Joe Shane said. Saw him this week and said he looks good and good spirits.
Yeah, they said the same thing last year. Last year he went and worked with a former All-Pro right tackle, to fix him as far as the stance and his get off and all kind of stuff. And we pretty much saw what happened. He was awful. He got hurt, toward the end of the season. Yeah, I think they found that he had like a chipped up bone or something in his ankle, like when the season was over almost. And the Evan Neal experiment is getting ready to come to a screeching halt real soon if he doesn't play well this year.
Interesting. He's the one that's always injured, right? Like everyone talks about him.
Nah, he's not always. He just stinks. He's 6'7", 335 pounds. I thought the kid was, he played at Alabama. I thought he was going to come in and, be like a gangbuster, play right tackle, and they're set at right and left tackle, for the next 10 years. But he's been so bad. Just, he can't get out of his stance quick enough. Everybody runs around him. He's just been bad. And, they signed the right tackle from, the Raiders, and a left guard from Green Bay, Runyon, John Runyon's son that used to play for the Eagles. And so he's got competition this year. So, if he doesn't, put up, I could see them, trading him or whatever, but he's no good. No good.
All right. Shane also said about the draft. This is our, like, we're trying to figure out what like the New York Giants are going to do. We don't know if they're going to trade down, get more stuff with that, or they're going to, pick that number 6 spot. But that's what he says. Shane said, I think everybody is assuming who's going to number 1. We can all agree that's probably going to happen. It's going to be Caleb Williams. And then draft starts at 2. We'll see what Washington does. Is they're at number 2 or 4?
2.
They're at 2. Wow, that's a lot. And there's rumors of teams behind us wanting to come up, and some of the calls we received, we don't know what's going to happen at 2, 3, 4, 5. Our people are going to come up behind us, but those are all things we're talking about and going through different scenarios. Byron, what is your final prediction for that 6th pick?
You got to get Daniel Jones some help. You got to pick the best available receiver after Marvin Harrison. He might even be equal to Malik Neighbors from LSU. They have to pick him. Have to.
Interesting. All right. Offense. Guys, we're going to go offense. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Let's go to Miami Dolphins, Kevin. They lost some people, but they got some people in. Jordan Poyer, star safety, returns to Miami. Shaq Barrett had a 1-year contract for the Dolphins. Jono Smith, a tight end with Miami now. Kendall Fuller, he's a versatile cornerback. Got Raheem Mostert coming back for a contract extension. That's not a bad thing. Yeah. They got a punter. Don't worry about him. Neville Palomore, defensive tackle, who joins from the Cowboys. He signed. Davian Nixon, defensive tackle. He's joined Miami from Seattle. Isaiah Mack, defensive tackle, who joins from Baltimore. That's a good thing. Other players the Dolphins signed include Jordan Brooks, Anthony Walker, Braxton Berrios, Benito Jones, Sierra Neal, and the Dolphins have released Xavier Howard, and Zion Crossan and Jerome Baker. Kevin, your thoughts over the Miami Dolphins offseason?
I think they've been active. a lot of these players I have no idea about. But
I know.
it
But
looks
they
like
let go a lot of players too, though.
yeah, it
Chris
looks like they
Wilkes?
brought, because we were like 40-something million over the cap.
Yeah.
We didn't have any money. And Christian Wilkins, I'm happy for him. I get upset when guys leave the team, but I'm happy for him because
He's joined the
he
Raiders.
got that bag. He went and got that bag.
Yeah, he signed for a 110 million deal, 4 years in Las Vegas.
Yeah, he went and got that bag. And then, with that monster they got coming around that edge, Crosby. Oh my God, I've seen this guy play. Like, does this guy ever slow down? Does he get tired? Never comes off the field.
That's good.
It's
What
crazy.
do you think, Byron, about the Dolphins' moves?
Good moves. They need to shore up the offensive line. They probably need to pick up. They got 2 good running backs. Probably another edge rusher. They're gonna need that, and probably they should focus on defense. But mainly, they might have to pick an offensive line first.
We lost the offensive lineman. I think we lost Hunt.
I think so too.
Yeah. So we need a lot. We need to plug a lot, but I think they'll be okay. We'll be okay.
One thing, Kevin, you might be in agreement with us. Actually, most of us in the sports guys have been agreed that Dolphins have not offered Tua a new contract. Rumors about $40 million, I think, for 3 years. I can't remember the exact numbers. I mean, it's all rumor, speculative. But a lot of Dolphin fans, I'm not sure what you think, Kevin, they're kind of holding back. They want to see one other season with Tua. What do you think? You think the Dolphins should have a new contract, or let's just let him play for another season, see how he does with his health and everything?
And I'm kind of torn in between. I want the guy to get his money, but he has more years. He had a great year last year, but he has more years where he hasn't lived up to what he's supposed to be doing than than last year. Last year was a decent year, but he still didn't come through in the clutch.
He played every game.
But he didn't come through in the clutch. I mean,
yeah, against like Tennessee or something like that.
Yeah, I mean that game cost us pretty much,
the season.
Yeah, it did. I mean, instead of playing in below zero weather in Kansas City, we could have been playing at home.
Everyone knew we were going to lose that one. I think, but Victor chose the Dolphins for that game.
Yeah, I don't know what he's thinking of.
What do you think about Byron? Do you think Tua should have another year looking at him and see how he does for another?
Did they pick up his 5th-year option or?
Yeah. No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
No, I think they picked it up. They picked it up last year.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, last year. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, they picked it up last year. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you figure if they don't like what he does this year, they could turn around and franchise tag him again. Matter of fact, I think twice. So if that's going to save them money, kind of, sort of, because whatever that number is, for that the franchise quarterback, is not going to be 55 million or 60 million or whatever that number is going up to. So I would franchise, hey, you know what, prove it to me again, do it again, and then do it again, and just keep kicking the can down the road.
Yeah. Which Kevin brought up something very interesting. I've not heard this from another Dolphin fan. He's not there for clutch moments. He might be right on that. I thought when Tua played last year, I think he'd relied too much on Tyreek Hill. There's an argument, well, why would you not rely on Tyreek Hill? But he had Jalen Waddle and some other receivers. But Kevin, do you think he lacks that clutch moments?
Well, I think so. If you really think about it, when Tom Brady, there was a minute and 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. They on the kickoff. They get the ball at the 35-yard line. It's like, y'all in trouble. The other team's in trouble. Do you feel like that about? You feel like that about Patrick Mahomes? If he gets the ball with any amount of seconds left on the clock, any decent amount of seconds on the clock, you pretty much think he's going to win it. I don't feel that way about Tua yet. He's a great quarterback. Trust me, I'm ride or die with my team, but I don't feel that.
Yeah, I don't feel it either. and which Kevin, you're not the only Dolphin fan that said that. I think majority of them have said it. They're kind of have reservations towards Tua. So we'll see what happens with the extension. But they are committed. I don't think Dolphins are going to draft a quarterback. Even
No,
if they did, it would be just a backup. But
it's hard to find quarterbacks that are as talented as he is, and can run a team like he does. And his accuracy is whatever, is off the chain. But when you're down by 2 and you need to get them down in field goal range, that's what it's all about.
Kevin, what about Tyreek Hill's having mini camps at his house?
I seen that. I seen that on YouTube last year. I saw it last year. Yeah,
but almost cost I think his house. No, not his house got fired. Well, he got fired, but different, a whole different occasion. Right. I think a woman was trying to sue him or something.
Oh yeah, she got hurt she was on the sidelines or whatever. And she got hurt and whatever. Yeah,
I hope.
I think they threw it out.
Anyways, we'll see what happens. Tyreek Hill's a character, but we'll see. Anyways, news this week, Byron. The New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft cautioned owners of the Atlanta Falcons, Arthur Blank, that hiring Bill Belichick in January, sources told that it will be warn him that not to trust Bill, a source close to Belichick, who was the coach of the Patriots, got let go. Looks like Atlanta was all in until that phone call from Kraft, apparently, and then they went with Raheem Morris. Byron, do you believe this story?
Yeah. My thing is why every time Robert Kraft goes into his building and he's walking through the lobby and he sees those six trophies there, it's a reason why that they're I understand it worked hand in Brady and Belichick, it works hand in hand, but to turn around, usually if you get fired from a job or whatever, they're calling up for recommendation. You're not gonna badmouth the guy. I haven't done it. When I was working, law enforcement, people call you, yeah, good worker, whatever, and you'll be done with it. But for another owner to get out there, bash him like that, say some of the things allegedly, that he said about him, that's not good. That's not cool at all.
Kevin, which actually I was reading that Belichick and Kraft left in bad terms, so it was kind of not like hugs and kisses or anything like that. But Kevin, we're in the same division as the Patriots. Do you believe the story?
Yeah, it's just like I said earlier. Success, a lot of that stuff is squashed with success, but you got 3 huge egos. Come on, man. Belichick, Brady, and Kraft. And it worked because they were winning Super Bowls. I mean, I read a stat. I don't know how accurate I am, but it's crazy. And Brady's 20 years, I think he went to the Super Bowl 10 of them. That's crazy.
It's crazy, isn't it?
That is insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So yeah, pretty much Bill Belichick has no job still. Not sure because Kraft's fault, but he says, I mean, what I've heard that Belichick still wants to coach. He's going to wait till next season. I did hear he's interested with the Giants if that position opens up. And the Cowboys, and I think Cleveland's the other one.
No, Cowboys. No, them two. Ain't no way. Those two egos can coexist.
But in the meantime, he is rumored, and I think it's almost a done deal that he's going to work with Omaha Productions and with the Payton brothers. Peyton Manning. Sorry, the Manning brothers. Eli Manning and Peyton Manning and Omaha Productions. I think he'll be part of the Monday Night Football gang, I think, or maybe do some documentaries.
Are they paying $50 million a year? Most likely.
Most likely.
Crazy.
That's retirement money, right, Byron?
Yeah, I think he's going to be good at it because he's a student of the game, that guy. You can say what you want about Belichick. He really is a student of the game. And, he's going to bring a different, aspect, to whatever broadcast or documentary or whatever they have him doing, because he's a smart guy and he loves football. He's been around it 50 years. So I think he's going to do a good job doing that.
Football nerd. He would go to the film room and just watch film day and night. And this guy, like, he could teach football in college pretty much. Trivia. Did Bill Belichick win a Super Bowl with the Giants?
No.
2.
He won
Yes.
2. Wow.
Yeah, 86.
That's right. Who was that? Parcells, right? No, who was that?
Well,
Parcells was there.
Parcells.
Oh yeah. That's when they had LT.
Yep.
LT and Carson and all them. Man, that was
a good team, right, Kevin?
That was a monster defense, man. Monster defense.
All they had to do was make sure LT showed up to the game and they were good.
Yeah. Well,
was he the one that had a golf cart in the training camp?
Yeah.
He drove it.
Yeah.
They had they call it. They had his handlers. The handlers.
They made sure he got to practice.
Right, so you got it.
Came
in at a decent 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, there was a 30 for 30. I'm not sure if you guys watched. It was Bill and Bill, I think it was called. It was about Bill Belichick and Bill Parcells.
Yep.
So, and then I was reading that Parcells told Kraft, "Don't hire Belichick." I think I read that somewhere. But
yeah, but with the Giants, he would have got the Giants job when Parcells left like the second time because George Young hated Bill Belichick. That's why he left and took the job in Cleveland because he wasn't getting the Giant job because the general manager time did not like him at all.
And you know who else was in the Browns with Belichick?
Nick Saban.
Nick Saban.
Yeah.
And they couldn't turn that team around.
Don't mention that name.
Nick Saban got a good deal with College Game Day, I think, too.
Man, these cats, man. Come on, man. They gave Brady $37 million.
I think so. He actually moved to Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
I mean, I don't think he needs that money.
Oh, of course not. Of course not.
I think his grandkids will probably touch it.
And their kids. If they don't, mess it up. Whatever.
Generational wealth.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's what it is.
Well, there you have it, Bill Belichick. More NFL news before we get into the NBA real quick. J.K. Dobbins, former running back of the Ravens, is going to the Chargers. Is that good or bad, Byron?
Who said who? Who said who on the chat?
Well, where? On the chat? No, I don't see.
Somebody said who on the chat? Like J.K. Dobbins, who?
Oh, yeah, J.K. Which he was drafted when, 2020?
Yeah, he hasn't been in the league that long at all. But yeah, he's a good back. He's an in between the tackles, kind of running back. I think he's going to fit, pretty good with that guy that's going to run the ball a lot down there with Harbaugh and Herbert quarterback. So he's going to get some touches, and that's a good pickup for him. I'm sure that probably didn't cost him a lot of money too.
Right, yeah, because Chargers lost running back Austin Eckler to the Commanders, so they needed to fill that hole for Herbert, Harbaugh, and their offensive coordinator Greg Roman. So we'll see. And then Gus, I think. Oh, they also signed Gus Edwards.
That's a good signing too.
It's a good signing. I like Gus Edwards. That's going to be a good team. Yep. And then their offensive coordinator, Greg Roman, is a very run-heavy guy. So we'll see how it goes. All right. Let's go on to basketball. Yesterday, the Miami Heat lost against the Philadelphia 76ers. Embiid had an okay game, I think, but Butler got injured in the first quarter. He sprained his right MCL. The Heat said that he'll be out for multiple weeks. That's a very general term. Kevin, what do you think? This is not good for the Heat.
Man, unfortunate injury.
Jimmy Butler.
I'm in mourning. No, I'm just kidding.
You're in mourning?
No, they just gotta, play their game, get past Chicago, and then see what happens.
Play Boston. That's
see what happens. Injury here, injury there. They could be, sidetracked or whatever.
What do you think about that rookie Jocks? He had a lot of playing time yesterday.
Oh, Hakeem. Yeah, he's gonna be something else.
He's good, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a big dude too, like 6'7".
Huge. Yeah,
he's a big guy.
So We'll see what happens with the Heat. They play Chicago this Friday for the play-in. Byron, you're well, you're not a 76ers fan, but you live near it. Is there hype with this team or?
Yeah, their thinking is as long as Embiid doesn't get hurt and Maxey, does his thing, that they're thinking they can go pretty far, with Embiid because playing, he doesn't have a lot of mileage on him right now because he didn't play for weeks. So yeah, so their thinking around here is that they can go pretty far.
We'll see. They play the New York Knicks, which I think, Kevin, they're a beatable team.
Yeah, Knicks. Oh yeah,
yeah,
no doubt.
If he would have played him, I know he would have won it and would have won that series.
Yeah.
And
they
got
the Knicks are, they fell into that second seed because of I believe that if Embiid wouldn't have got hurt, they would have been a much higher seed.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Byron. I don't know if you watched the game last night, but he's not right. Something's not right with that knee. I mean, he was laboring all night. So he's not, and it's not going to get any better with him playing, every other night or whatever they do in the NBA playoffs. So, well, anyway, if they go where he goes, basically.
True.
Yeah. I know the 76ers head coach Nick Nurse was limiting his minutes. I think it worked out well. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that knee, it doesn't get any better. Okay? You get a lot of rest and limit your minutes. So we'll see what happens with the Sixers. They play New York this weekend. So we'll see what happens. First, I think it's the first athlete getting banned from the sport. Toronto Raptors Jonte Porter got banned for life from the NBA for gambling. This has been an issue for a bit. We've seen, Calvin Ridley getting suspended for 8 games, Byron. But this guy gets banned for life. I'm not sure if he's allowed in an NBA arena.
Probably not.
You guys' thoughts?
How dumb can you be? I guess he was betting on his team or whatever he was doing. It doesn't make any sense. Where I think they said he made like $22,000 in gambling bets, and he's making almost $3 million. So
that's a lot of money.
Why you would do that is beyond me. I don't even know if the guy can he go overseas to play? Now, can he go? A lot of those people go to Europe or they go to South America, or they go to Chinese, or any of those leagues go over there to play now because he's banned for life in the NFL with the NBA.
That's a good point, Byron, because he could play overseas in Europe or could play China or Australia. I mean, I'm sure those teams will take him. He's an NBA league player. But Kevin, what do you think about the story?
I don't get it, man. Like Byron said, you're making $3 million and you're gonna get banned for a $22,000 bet. That's gonna ride you the rest of your life, man. This is an opportunity that not even 1% of the 1% of that percent gets a chance to play in the NBA in the league, and you're gonna blow it. I just don't get it, man. What are you thinking about?
Actually, guys, he made more money. He placed an $80,000 parlay bet, and he won $1 million.
He won that much?
Yes.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't.
You make $3 million a year. You're in the league for multiple years. You'll make a whole lot more money than that. It's crazy, man.
Crazy. So he and this happened recently, like the March 20th game. Apparently, he underperformed. Yeah, but he plays his bet against himself and his team.
What?
Dummy.
Wow. Well, I didn't hear about this player until this week, so I didn't know much about him. Did you hear anything about him before, Kevin, or did you?
No, I didn't know. I didn't know who he is. I still don't know who he is.
Yeah, I don't know who he is. So maybe he thought he was gonna get cut eventually. I don't know. So, anyways, banned for life. There's been some NFL players getting banned. I know, well, not banned, but they got suspended. Ridley got suspended for 8 games, right, Byron?
Yeah, there was a couple other ones too that got suspended. I think the Eagles tried to sign one of those guys that got from the Colts. I think it was the Colts did the same thing. and it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. That these guys have the opportunity to make all the money that they're going to make, and they want to go mess around and bet on themselves. They want to bet on the other team. And I understand that you got gambling stuff that's popping up all over the country, but no,
Yeah,
if they do something, it's for a reason.
and who knows if they're doing third party? Like, hey, they have a friend or a brother that do their bets for them. We know.
Because okay, you're supposed to be my friend or my brother or whatever, and it's against the rules, but you're going to do it for him anyway.
Yeah, and this will send out some alarms for a lot of other leagues, NFL players. Say maybe we shouldn't do this, and get banned. So, before we go, I saw an interesting story. Jason Kelsey, who won a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles a couple of years ago, he lost his Super Bowl ring in a pool of Chile. Chile. You can't find a Super Bowl ring, Kevin.
Oh man, I saw that today.
Can't make that up.
No, he didn't make it up. He lost in this bowl of Chile. They were looking for it. They can't find it still. Apparently, he claimed he's trying to get a claim from an insurance company, so he might get his money or whatever back. But yeah, this is so sad, so bad.
He's a wild boy anyway.
My question is, why would you have it on knowing that you get ready to stick your hand in chili or whatever they would do?
He had it like in his sock, so he went he stepped into the bowl of chili and into like the pool of chili.
Those rings are big.
Really big. Get a strainer, strain it out.
That's a lot of chili to be straining.
Is that, you talking about a real pool?
Yeah, like this. It's it's kind of like a personal pool of chili. It's not like a whole personal, but yeah, it's like a small one, like a little kiddie pool, I guess you can say.
Okay.
I think it's so if anybody went in behind him, somebody else got that ring. That ring didn't throw in the garbage or whatever. Somebody's got that ring somewhere.
It's gonna be in a random pawn shop somewhere.
Yeah, well, that probably wouldn't be a good idea. He's probably gonna have to hold on to it for about 5-10 years and then try.
By the way, I forgot to tell it. Allen Iverson got a statue at the 76ers training grounds.
You should see the size of the trophy. It ain't that big.
He was doing a crossover. That's why it was small.
He did a crossover versus Michael Jordan. I remember that play.
Yeah, he was leaning
in his prime. Well, guys, we're towards the end of the show. Any closing words before we head into contact information?
Well, enjoy the NBA playoffs. It's gonna be a nice ride.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Oh, let's do predictions then. All right. Okay, so you have Chicago, Miami, Kevin. Who's gonna win that game?
Oh, I'm going with Miami.
Okay. Mr. Byron?
I'm gonna go be opposite like I always do. Chicago.
Sacramento at New Orleans. Kevin.
Sacramento. Zion's hurt.
Okay, Sacramento for Kevin. Byron?
I'm gonna go the opposite again. New Orleans.
New Orleans. Isn't Zion not playing? Yeah, he's not playing this weekend.
They can't do it
this week. All right, so playoffs, which these teams are already set. Orlando, Cleveland. Who takes that series, Kevin?
I'm going with Cleveland.
I gotta go opposite again. I'm act like Victor's around the opposite team.
He hates that, but oh well.
I know he can't stand it.
Let him go first this time.
All right, Phoenix, Minnesota. Who takes that series?
Phoenix.
All right, Phoenix. And you, Kevin?
I'm gonna go with Minnesota.
Oh, okay, doing the opposite. Okay. That is a topsy-turvy series, though. Like
Minnesota got a better team. Yeah.
All those teams could win. But Phoenix has Kevin Durant.
They got the boy Edwards, I think the big cat will be back.
The big cat.
Yeah, he's coming back for the playoffs for sure.
I played against his father in high school.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Was his dad good too?
Yes. His dad's about 6'8". Yeah, he was really good.
Oh wow, he can glide.
Oh yeah.
All right. It's New York, Philadelphia, Byron.
Since I'm hating Philadelphia, I'm going to New York.
New York Knicks. Kevin.
I'm gonna go with New York also.
Brunson. And then LeBron James versus Jokic, LA series, LA
Not
versus
a chance.
Denver. Kevin.
Not a chance. Denver.
Byron's going for LeBron.
No way.
Denver. I know better.
Anthony Davis. Well, there you have it. NBA playoffs, NFL draft in the week. Kevin, will you be doing the whole food spread, watching the draft?
I might go out there though. You know, they usually send, since I'm a season ticket holder, they usually send us let us come out to the draft or whatever. So I might
Also, what, here or are you going to Detroit?
No, at the stadium.
Oh, that stadium. Okay.
Yeah. If they don't have the F1, they have it. Is this week F1?
I don't know. They might. You're right.
I've seen they, they're setting
time.
up. They got the bleachers and everything set up around.
Yeah, they're in season. F1 is, so
Right.
they might come to Miami. How about you, Byron? Well, you'll be here with us during the show, so you know.
I'll be here, and I'll be stuffing my face while we're doing whatever we're doing.
I don't know. It's interesting because there's a lot of quarterbacks, so we'll see we'll see 3 quarterbacks getting picked, like the first 3 slots. You think?
Yes.
You don't think Marvin Harrison's going in?
He's going to be number 4 to Arizona.
You think?
Yep.
Oof, that's
so you got the guy from, of course, USC. A guy from Washington. Who's the other guy?
He's going to go later.
Yeah, Bo Nix.
Wide receiver. Yeah.
He's a good quarterback, time management quarterback.
Who, Bo Nix?
I mean, I heard.
I think Bo Nix is going to be like that guy from the Jets. What's his name?
Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I think he's going to be
interesting.
Yeah, I don't think he has it. He has what it takes to be a elite.
Well, there you have it. Jersey Boys Sports Talk. Victor is back next week for the draft. He is on assignment this week and also the week before, so he'll be back next week. Looking forward to Victor's. Victor is storing up. He's probably been thinking about what to say next week, and we'll be live tweeting the draft. I'll be in Twitter, drafting, breaking news, what's going on. I'll probably be on the show as well. So we'll be talking about the draft and see what they're limiting the people they're inviting for the draft. I think like 13 players got invited to go to Detroit. Not much.
A lot of people want to go to Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit's an interesting city. And the next year will be in Green Bay. So that's gonna be hard to get to.
My family members will be all of the draft party because they all live in Detroit, so they got a big party going on next week.
So it's probably gonna be cold.
Yeah, it's a little chilly up there.
Yeah. Anyways, you can reach us at thesportscast.net, our website, or the Sportscast1 on X and Instagram. We'll be live tweeting throughout the weekend. NBA play-in tournament finishes this Friday, then the playoffs and NFL draft. NFL draft will have ratings more than NBA. If there's an NBA game that night, NFL draft will have more. I know that.
Yeah.
Kevin, thanks for coming on. Byron, thanks for coming on. Any closing words?
Thanks for having me.
Kevin, thanks for coming on. Byron, thanks for coming on from Atlantic City.
Atlantic City again.
And this was the